Are you shopping for an office chair with a headrest, but you're unsure what you should be looking for? In this video, I'm gonna go over the top 5 things that I feel you must consider when shopping for an office chair with a headrest. Looking for a new office chair? BTOD TV is your #1 resource for everything office chairs. Subscribe today so you don't miss out on any of our future content. Hey guys, it's Ryan with BTOD TV. Headrests have become very popular in the ergonomic office chairs category. They can be great tools for some people, but they can also be detrimental for others. So I thought this video would be helpful, just covering the 5 things that I feel are the most important things that you should consider when shopping for an office chair that features a headrest. So the first thing that I feel that you should consider when shopping for an office chair with a headrest is whether or not that headrest on your office chair is actually ergonomic. And I say this because there's gonna be 2 main schools of thought when it comes to headrests on ergonomic office chairs. Some people feel that they're important and a vital part of an ergonomic office chair setup, and others feel that they're not important and take away from the ergonomics of an office chair. Now, neither answer is necessarily right or wrong. It's not a black or white situation because everyone is different and everyone is going to work and feel differently in their office chair. But we can take the 2 most prominent companies in the world when it comes to office chair and use their opinions as basically 2 schools of thought. So Herman Miller and Steelcase. One question that we field almost every single day is why doesn't the Aeron come with a headrest option? And that is simply because Herman Miller does not believe that headrests contribute to an ergonomic chair setup. Their belief is that as long as your back and shoulders are supported, and so is your neck and head. And by adding a headrest, all it does is take away from your ability to move around freely, move your neck and stretch while you're working, which they consider to be more important than supporting your neck and head for those long hours. On the flip side, Steelcase has recently decided that they feel that headrests are an integral part of their setup, which is why they have added the option to go with a headrest on their gesture chair and their leap chair. They have found that long hours spent in a chair at a time, it can be very helpful to have that headrest to allow you to support your neck and head without having to use your neck muscles to support your head for that long, and it does help to increase your comfort and your productivity for long hours. Now, can either company prove that one answer is right over the other? Not necessarily. For different applications, one could be right and one could be wrong. But this is the reason why a lot of chairs don't come with headrests and a lot of chairs do. Some companies believe in it and others don't, and it's gonna kind of be up to you to decide whether or not you believe that a headrest will be good for your situation. The second thing that I feel that you must consider is how you plan to use your office chair. And what I mean is, do you use your chair straight up and down, tasking a lot? Do you recline a lot and relax? A combination? How do you use your chair? Because that is going to be a determining factor of which model that you go with. And I'll just demonstrate with 3 different products that I have here. We've got the BTOD Acure, the Human Scale Freedom, and then the Nightingale CXO chair here. So we'll start with the Acure. This one has the most aggressively placed headrest in terms of how forward it is. Now, this will come into play for 2 reasons. The first is that this is a headrest that allows your neck and head to be supported while you are fully upright and tasking. You can see that when the position of the chair is fully upright, the headrest does go into the curve of my neck, it does support me, and I can use this tasking straight up and down. I can also recline and it still supports me. So regardless of where I am in this chair, the headrest will support me and it will be on my neck. Now, this is good for those tasking applications if you are gonna be looking for that head and neck support for long hours, but one thing to think about is that you cannot not use the headrest on this type of chair design. When you're sitting in the chair, you have to use the headrest. You can't move it out of the way. You can't use the chair in a different posture other than using it properly, which is good, but a lot of people don't like to sit that way all of the time. Now, I can demonstrate with the Freedom here, a little bit different chair design. This headrest is designed to work when you start your recline. So you can see that when I'm just sitting straight up and down, maybe just casually talking on the phone or conversing with someone, the headrest doesn't come into play. I do not feel the headrest. I can avoid it. I can lean forward. I can lean around. I'm not going to feel it. If I do want to use the headrest in a tasking application, I just simply lean back and then the headrest comes into play. I can adjust it up and down. But this is gonna be a situation where the headrest is only gonna be useful for a specific situation, and that is when you are planning on tasking and reclining back. But when you're fully upright, you can't use the headrest on the Freedom. Now, the CXO is gonna kind of be similar to the Freedom in that the headrest is not always gonna be useful, but it doesn't come into play like the Freedom does. It's gonna be more of a traditional design for relaxing. This is a chair that I've used for thousands of hours. It's one of my go-to chairs, and so I have a ton of experience with this chair, and I can tell you that when I am upright tasking and working, I'm rarely using the headrest. You can see that when the headrest is in the correct position for me, it's not touching my neck right now. So when I'm fully upright and engaged, I'm not using the headrest. In order to use it, I have to tilt back like this. So if I want to work in a slightly reclined angle and use the headrest, I can, but my eyes aren't at a great position. They're not straightforward, they're a little bit up. And so this headrest is gonna be perfect for situations when I'm on a phone call, when I'm maybe having a meeting with Greg in my office or another employee, or just doing something a little bit more casual than upright tasking, because I can just kind of lean back and kick back and relax for a little bit. And then when I want to task, I sit up, I'm in an upright posture, but then I can't necessarily use the headrest. So you really need to identify how you plan to use your chair and then search for headrests that are going to accommodate that application so that you do not have to adjust yourself to the chair that you buy. Now, how do you do this? You're going to need to reach out to the sellers, and they're going to need to be educated on the product that they're selling you. Hopefully you can find some videos, some demonstrations, and some knowledgeable sales staff that you can reach out to help get you that perfect headrest on your new office chair. The next thing that you need to consider is whether or not the headrest on the chair you're considering will actually fit you. Now, this is mainly going to apply to short and tall people. I would say people 5'3" and under and people 6'3" and over are going to be specifically concerned with this topic, because a lot of times the adjustment range is not going to accommodate those far ends of the spectrum in terms of height. And so I have a great example here. It's the Ergohuman from Eurotech Seating. We've been selling this chair for over 10 years. We've sold a ton of these models, and so we have a lot of experience, and we actually have a notification on our website telling people that are under 5'2" or over 6'3" to avoid this model with the headrest and to go with the model without the headrest, because it simply will not fit you correctly. Now, Taylor, you've probably seen her in a lot of our videos, she's about 5'2", and Robert, who's usually behind the camera, is about 6'3". We've verified with both of them that they do not fit very well in this chair with the headrest, and it's because it does not fit. So I'll try to demonstrate. Fortunately, they're not in the office today because of the whole COVID-19, so I'll try to act as short and tall, even though I'm just medium. So if I sit in the chair and I pretend like I'm 5'2", and I kind of scooch down a little bit, I can't get the headrest low enough, and it will just hit the back of my head, and it will just push the back of my head forward, and it won't necessarily get into the curve of my neck and support me. Now, on the flip side, if I put it all the way up, it has a decent range, but if you're really tall, it's really hard for me to fake being tall, but if you're tall, it will hit you in the top of the shoulders, and it won't necessarily cradle your neck and your head the way that it should. So adding a headrest to a chair, if you can't fit it, is going to be very detrimental, and you're probably either going to have to exchange it or deal with some uncomfortable postures while using the chair. The fourth thing that I feel that you should consider is how adjustable the headrest is that you're looking to purchase. So there's going to be a few different models in terms of adjustability. Built-in headrests like this that have no adjustability, most commonly seen in boardrooms, conference rooms. These have a really high-end look, more of an executive look, but they're not going to have any adjustability to accommodate the user. You're basically going to have to fit the chair, and you're not going to be able to make the chair fit you, which is why it's used in those applications where you're not in it for a long period of time at once, maybe 2 hours or less, and a built-in headrest can be a great option. The next step up would be a height adjustable headrest like we've got here on the Freedom chair. It's going to give you a lot more range in terms of accommodating different body types, different body styles, and allowing it to fit into that curve of your neck or the back of your head properly. And the final option that we would have is the fully adjustable headrest, which is not only going to adjust up and down, but it's also going to tilt and fully articulate. I can demonstrate here for you. Here's the height adjustment on the Freedom. And then on the Ergohuman from Raynor, we have height adjustment, and then it can also tilt. And by giving it the tilt function, it actually adds quite a bit of range in terms of the number of people that can use it, because you can angle it in a way for tall people or down for shorter people. So it just gives a lot more variety in terms of applications and the number of people that can use it comfortably. So if you're looking for a really high-end ergonomic chair that you think you're going to need to be adjusting maybe for multiple people or multiple applications, then the fully adjustable model will probably be the best option. Conference room settings, built-in options can probably be good. And if you're somewhere in the middle, a height adjustable option or something with little adjustability like the Freedom will suit you just fine. And the final thing that I feel that you should consider is what type of upholstery that you want on your headrest. Just like the rest of the chair, the seat in the back, you're going to have plenty of options for things that you can go with on the headrest. So we've got 3 different choices here just to highlight the differences. We've got an open mesh design, a padded fabric design, and then a padded leather design here. So we'll look at the mesh on the Ergo Human chair first. The biggest thing about the mesh is that it's going to be the most breathable, and therefore it's going to give you the least chance of being overheated or sweaty while using your headrest. Another thing that people really like about the mesh headrest is the suspended feeling that it gives you on your neck and head, very similar to the seat and backrest do with mesh. A couple drawbacks are going to be that you don't get that padded feeling. There's not going to be any padding there to kind of sink into, and it can also be a bit more abrasive than a fabric or a leather design just because mesh is more coarse than fabric or leather. When we look at the fabric design, you're going to get that padded feel. It's going to be a little bit more comfortable to the touch than a mesh chair, but you're not going to get that same breathability, and it is going to be the most difficult to clean. When we look at the leather or vinyl option, they're both going to be very similar in terms of look and feel. They're going to be the easiest to wipe down. Oftentimes they're going to be the most comfortable, but they can be the hottest and oftentimes do produce the most sweat if you are a hot running individual. So all 3 of these designs are going to have their positives and their drawbacks. It's just going to kind of be up to you to decide which type of upholstery that you prefer best. Adding a headrest to an office chair can either be a great addition or a big detriment. I feel very, very strongly that if you take the things that we've gone over in this video into consideration when shopping for your new chair, you'll give yourself the best opportunity to get that chair that really fits your needs. If you've made it this far in the video, I would really appreciate a thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe and ding that bell. We do have more office chair with headrest content coming, and you don't want to miss out. Thanks a lot for watching.